Hola, and welcome to another edition of Coffee Talk. I'm so glad you came back today because today we are talking about one of the most popular questions I get asked as a management coach. And that is, how do I know when it's time to really fire someone and to be able to do it with clarity and confidence so I can sleep at night? So I'm going to provide some solutions that I've used in my LinkedIn learning courses and that I've worked with managers to implement that I've done so successfully and with peace of mind. So let's get started. Here's 3 critical discoveries I've gained from working with thousands of managers across North America for the past 20 years. And they are that well-meaning entrepreneurs and owners hang on to certain employees way too long. Next, companies without effective management don't have a coordinated philosophy or process. And so HR and managers really don't know how or when to fire and to do it in a comfortable way where they feel good about it, which I know sounds really odd. And that leads to fog, which will really corrupt how someone can work through a process to legitimately let someone go. So I know you're going to ask me, well, what's fog? And here's what it is fear, obligation, and guilt. Makes it very difficult to work with someone. And in fact, a lot of people, a lot of managers feel overly responsible for someone, and we consider that misplaced guilt. Okay, which I'm going to ask this question, and though we won't talk about it specifically, but I want you to consider, do you have a firing philosophy? Do you have something that you can hold on to when it's time to do that? I believe firing someone is an essential management skill. And yes, I did say skill. So here's a peek into my management philosophy. In my firing philosophy. Employees fire themselves. They are adults, they have choices. And sometimes you'll find that people are good interviewers and that the real person actually shows up later. You don't want to accommodate that bad behavior. If they've proven to be inauthentic, they disqualify themselves. And there are just people who are not socially healthy and have absolutely no intention of changing. And so you don't want to hold on to them. And one of the reasons why I'm sharing these things is my area of expertise is human behavior. So I want to share some things that are human behavior insights, so you can be confident in making a quicker decision about what you need to do. So you want to coach up or coach out, and it's either time to improve or time to go. And you've got to be that cut and dry, along with the tips that I'm going to share with you. So I'm going to give you what I know this sounds shocking, a very simple checklist on how you can be confident and at peace that you're doing the right thing in the right way right now. And I do have an overriding firing philosophy, and it is acting in everyone's highest good. It is not to someone's highest good to keep someone in a situation that they're underperforming, that they're causing disruption in a team. It is not their highest good to do that, nor is it yours or everyone else involved. So here's the checklist. You can take notes and or download this video, or you can email me for the slide notes. All right, checklist number 1, are you clear on the issues? Meaning, is it something about you or something about them? Are you clear on what exactly it is that they're not doing? Or are doing, for matter of fact? Are they clear on the issues? Have you had ample discussions regarding the issue? Meaning you've given every reasonable chance for them to change. Have you determined it's clear the employee is not going to change or respond to repeated requests to change? This is absolutely the critical piece. Have you documented all steps related to the process, the conversations, and any attempts that you've made to help? Now, related to ample discussions, answer these questions, or answer this one question. Are they aware, and have they demonstrated clear, sustained attempts to respond to your request or a change? Here's a key behavior tip. Always believe the behavior over the words. Behavior doesn't lie. So the answer to this question should give you clarity and confidence about whatever next actions that you need to take. Here's the key. If they don't care, it is time to go. You can't make someone care. It's a waste of time, energy, and money. All right. So if they are unwilling to be helped, that means coach to improvement, then it is time to coach out. Don't draw out the time, don't excuse the time, don't rationalize the time, which a lot of managers do because they're not clear and they're in the fog. You know where I'm going with this. It's time to go. Now, there comes a point in time, and this is a very interesting element related to behavior, where there's a point of power that needs to be shifted, determined, affirmed, or reinforced. Once you have a discussion with someone and you request that they change, you and they don't respond, you may even keep hoping that they will want to change. Let me tell you, hope is not a strategy. Either they're willing or unwilling. Either they're able or not able. And they're able to respond appropriately, which we call responsible, taking responsibility. Now, this conversation sheds a light on a very painful reality. Either you're running the show or they are. And some of you might be thinking, well, this sounds like parenting 101. Well, in a way, yeah, it does. And that's an important human behavior insight. Somebody is leading somebody. Either they're leading you or you are leading them. And consider this, in healthy relationships, there is a continuous mutual exchange of lead and follow. When it comes to this situation, there has to be a definitive statement or action which sets a boundary of who's in charge and what's expected. Here's a critical point. Your conversations draw that line, and you're asking them to move forward over the line with your help if desired. If they don't, and you don't do anything, what is the message that you're communicating? What are they thinking? That, hey, it's okay to do what I want. Your power doesn't affect me, and I have more power than you. You won't do anything, so I can do what I want. Sounds like a child, right? Mm-hmm. And here's the critical point. That, in fact, that's the whole reason why this is happening in the first place. They think that you have no power to affect them. And I have more power than you, so I'm not going to do anything. And that's very childish. This reflects their level of maturity. Levels of maturity are very difficult to coach. Whether it's social or emotional maturity, it takes a tremendous amount of time and attention to deal with immature employees. So, with all of this in mind, here are your recommended action items. You need to exercise leadership. That's pretty much the bottom line. You've got to set boundaries. Ask them to honor those boundaries. And if they demonstrate that they're unwilling or unable to do so, you have got to let them go. Don't excuse it. I'm giving you the human behavior insights so that you don't have to worry about it. So go through this this checklist and get clear. Schedule a time to actually do the action. If after a week or two of viewing this video and you have not taken action, admit you need help. So you may have to schedule a call or get help from us to sort out the situation. And actually, from a broader perspective, this may be a symptom of possible holes in your management practices. And the good news is we can help you with that too. You see in front of you the Executive Advantage Blueprint. And this is a framework that we use to help leaders and managers set up a profitable and effective management practices format within 90 days so that they can stay focused and maintain their focus and freedom to grow their business or do the parts of the business that they most enjoy. So here's the key. In order to maintain your freedom and keep focusing on other things, you've got to be on top of how your folks are performing. And if they're not performing as expected or needed, you've got to remedy that as quickly as possible. And if you're not, then you have to ask yourself, why am I not acting? And get help to address that specific thing. So feel free to connect with me by email to ask any additional questions, or you can feel free to schedule a 30-minute call with us. We call them coffee talks. And we also have on-demand advisory service. In any respect, that's your checklist. Work it through, take action. And remember, This is an issue of leadership confidence. Get a firing philosophy together and be very clear on what you will and won't tolerate. Remember, we train people how to treat us. The question is, what messages are you giving, and how have you trained your employees how